Hi Aquarius, how's it going? We're here with a timeless reading. Welcome. First card that we have out is Queen of Wands. This means that there is an embodiment of fire energy, whether this be you or this be somebody that you've been interacting with. You can feel like you're sort of coming more into your own here. Okay. I'm looking at the Hierophant. This looks like there can be a conversation that you're having. You can hear something. There can be a message that you receive. Whatever it is, there's information that comes your way. And it seems like you need to figure out what you're going to do with this, like a choice then. So you're hanging out, somebody comes over to you, communicates something with you. This can, for some of you, feel like a key piece of information. It seems like then something is going to have to be done. So there can be like a decision that needs to be made or something that's going to come together then. But for some of you too, this can feel like it conflicts with something and you're going to have to figure it out, like squared away here, where there's like some type of duality and you're going to have to merge this. Okay, I'm seeing the past be brought up here. This can be past, family, home, roots of any sort. This can be about like somebody that you know or somebody that you've known for a long time. There's definitely a sense of familiarity here. You can even be deciding whether or not you want to address this. Okay. Having King of Cups here, looking at the Nine of Swords, there can be something here that is freaking you out. This can also be another person. So if you are resonating with the energy of the King of Cups, you can be all of these energies. You can be the Queen of Wands here and you can be the King of Cups. You can be one or the other, whatever it is. I'm gonna like speak from the sort of perspective of each character and know that there can be overlap with these. For some of you, this is somebody that you're familiar with, that there's something here that's being addressed with you and this person. Also too, I don't know why this is coming up, but something that I'm like thinking of a lot right now is that there are certain readings that I do where some of them make sense to me even though I don't know what it's about or like what someone is going through personally, but I can kind of see the storyline. But sometimes I get readings come through and I'm like, I feel like I'm just saying a bunch of random stuff and it like magically resonates with people. But that's what this reading is feeling like to me, sort of like a bunch of different things that are being thrown in here. I'm not really understanding the storyline of things. It feels like a bunch of random information kind of from my perspective. I feel like it's hard to get sort of a foothold in this. So you have Queen of Wands. Somebody comes over to Queen of Wands or she gets a message, she gets some type of information. Like I'm seeing the Hierophant sort of be a messenger here. And then having Two of Swords is like, well, what are we going to do about this? Like something needs to be done. And the past can be like in the mix of this for some reason. So again, it can be like about home, it can be about family. This Six of Cups is feeling like a very Cancerian energy to me. Then over here, you have King of Cups. King of Cups is looking at Nine of Swords and being like, what is that over there? And this can be something that feels scary. It can be something that feels intimidating. This can be something that can feel like a lot to take on. There can be pressure, but more than anything, there can be this feeling of there's a shifting that's going on emotionally. And being in the energy of the King of Cups is an energy where if you are stepping into that, archetypally speaking, it's that no matter what it is that's going on around you, you do feel those things. However, you're going to find the center within you as you're going through something. And this can be something that's very like mentally intimidating that you're moving through because of the changes that are happening. Because I see this Nine of Swords card as being kind of connected with like the Death card. Like it feels very Scorpio to me. So this King of Cups can be looking at something and being like, I'm facing my worst fears here by like talking about this or figuring it out. Having the Hierophant here, this can be something where there had been something going on that felt stable or something that felt secure that is now going to be shifting. So it can be like, that was always a thing for me that provided me with comfort. And having the Nine of Swords is like, well, what's happening now? Something is changing, something is shifting potentially. And this is bringing up a lot of stuff for me. And as I said before, you can be both of these energies where maybe there's a conversation that you're having and a choice needs to be made. And also, too, you feel like you're going through something that's really trying psychologically, and also can feel like emotionally you need to sort of keep it steady here, even though you're going through something that may have you feeling very activated as you move through it. So when Queen of Wands makes a choice, decides something, says something, whatever this is, the energy of the Queen of Wands is somebody that's going to do something in a way that feels absolutely authentic to them. That is the power of the Queen of Wands. So whoever is in that energy, when it comes to doing what needs to be done here, there is this inner reflection of like what really feels right for me, even if it's going to be the difficult thing to do. And I need to be absolutely clear about that. I need to be honest. Like I need to be straightforward, transparent. So this can definitely be something going on between two people. It can also be something that you're also experiencing internally, all of it. All right, King of Cups looks at the Nine of Swords and is like, all of the things that are probably the scariest things to deal with in this situation, I'm now face to face with that. Having the Hanged Man shows that the more time that this King of Cups spends with the Nine of Swords, which is like all the anxieties, the fears, the worries, like all of the mental space, stuff that's going on, the more that one works with that and addresses that and sort of works through that and maneuvers through that, like taking all of the like mental components apart here, having Hanged Man shows that there's going to be a shift with King of Cups perspective of this. So you can look at something and immediately be like, I want to run away from this. I want to like avoid it at all costs. This is something that I never wanted to have to deal with. Or like I've really been worrying about having this come up and now it's something that's in front of me. Having the Hanged Man here shows that initially there can be this feeling of, this is my worst fear that I have to face. And even still, it can still consistently feel like that. Also, though, having Hanged Man shows that there are going to be other angles that the King of Cups sees this from. So you can be like, it's scary, but it's necessary. This is something that feels overwhelming. At the same time, I know that this is in alignment with my highest good. It can be things like that. And there can also be this feeling, too. Having Two of Swords and having the Hanged Man can feel like a choice needs to be made or something needs to happen here, and that may not necessarily be the case. And it can also feel like something important here is going to be cleared up, and for some reason I'm seeing the past have to do something with this. It's somehow tied into this. Having Two of Swords and the Hanged Man can also be having a difficult time getting clear on something, but then through spending time processing it and understanding it, and also shedding any narratives about it that are unnecessary now at this point, that you've like outgrown, it's going to direct you in a way where you feel like things become very clear. Nice. Okay. Something about the past coming to light here. This is significant for some reason. I don't understand how exactly it's tied in, but I'm seeing that be a key piece of this. So it may hold, like looking back into past stuff, may hold some type of answer, but it's gonna come with an awareness that wasn't there before. So it's not just like, I'm looking back at this stuff that I already know. It's like, when I look back at this stuff, I'm seeing it differently than I had been seeing it before, with more of a sense of understanding of this. So there's going to be insight and awareness that's gained through the process of stuff from the past. So again, not just looking back through these old photo albums of memories and seeing the same thing, the same story. There's going to be a new perspective, or one that's like more intricate, one that's more involved, one that's like closer to the truth. Having Queen of Wands and having the Sun here is about somebody going through something right now where they're in a space of reflection, of receiving things that they are like interpreting and understanding, and also showing up in a way within this situation where they need to be themselves and be true to themselves through this. Because the Sun is going to be this embodiment of self-expression that manifests through the choices that the Queen of Wands makes. So to not dim themselves over this situation, but to shine in a way that's pure and that's true to them. So really, like at the end of the day, one, staying true to themselves by spending time reflecting and being like, where's this going and how am I feeling about this, and how do I like authentically represent myself here within this situation. Now, having King of Cups be connected with Six of Cups, this feels like if you're the one that's the Queen of Wands in this can be somebody that you've had an emotional, like been emotionally connected with this person for time. This is not a new person coming through. This is somebody that there's been like a developed relationship with this person. For some of you, this can be a father figure. That's not for everybody, but for some of you, that is coming through. Like this is feeling kind of familial, but it does not have to be the case. Some of you, this can be a partner, something like that. The reason why it's important for Queen of Wands to be absolutely like vibrant in their expression, I'm seeing the Magician on the bottom of the deck. It's showing that like whatever is going to be expressed, if it's a true note, things are going to then materialize that feel vibrationally aligned with authenticity. And so there's going to be fulfillment within that. There's going to be this feeling of like, I'm on the right path, even if I'm doing some difficult stuff right now. So you could have felt like, if you're resonating with the energy of the Queen of Wands, like there was some type of challenge where you really needed to show up and stay true to yourself. And you could also feel too that if you're integrating this energy of the King of Cups, you can feel as well like there's some stuff that you're going through that can be bringing up some really intense stuff psychologically for you. And it can be challenging things that you could have been holding on to where you were like, these things make me feel safe, but these things are like changing and evolving. And so it can feel a little bit destabilizing at times. And it can feel very uncomfortable too when it's like, I've always relied on this, or I've always leaned on this, or like my idea of it, like whatever this is. And then going through a time where something about this is shifting, it doesn't mean it's going to disappear. It means that the energy is like turning into something else, but it can be really difficult mentally to hold the weight of this, to sort of expand the bandwidth on this one. Having Two of Swords and having the Hanged Man can be somebody being in a situation where what's coming to light is like truth versus Neptune can be idealism, but sometimes it's like realistic, and sometimes it's like that's just a fantasy and that's not actually what's happening, or that can't be applied to this situation. So it's like that line between where you're totally honest with yourself versus where you may be having trouble absolutely grasping reality and being totally in a space of like absolute truth with yourself. And that's where the Two of Swords comes from, where there's that duality of like truth versus maybe expectations, or truth versus what I wanted things to be, when they are not the same thing. Specifically when they're not the same thing. Because you can have what you want and also the truth of this situation and those things aligning. But if that were the case, Two of Swords would not be here. It would be Ace of Swords, because they would be congruent with one another. This is showing something that's incongruent. And having Hanged Man here is about something that could be a fantasy or a belief or a way of doing things or a habit or an expectation or a schema of some sort, but one that is like not truly resonating within this situation, like not true to this. So it's about recognizing that, like, where am I trying to apply things to this situation that doesn't really apply, or where am I not being realistic, or where am I having these ideas that aren't actually grounded within the truth of this situation. And I'm seeing this is also going to clear something up within the throat chakra as well, to have the Magician on the bottom of the deck, which feels like things can then move forward. I feel like fears are being addressed for both parties, unless this is you and it's like two different aspects of you, and or two different aspects of you that this is coming up. But this can be facing something where it was like, I wanted to avoid that because it's difficult to admit that in this. Like it was something that like I didn't want to accept, or it was something that I didn't want to change. But then it causing mental friction because of that. For some of you, could have even caused friction with you and another person. But then I'm seeing the Sun here, so it feels like things are then cleared up. Like you're in a space where the Sun is going to be illumination. It's going to be like, I'm consciously aware of these things now, past patterns and what was going on. Can even be too how stuff from the past was potentially like dictating things in the present moment as well, but stuff that maybe didn't truly fit for what was going on. Commitment can be a part of this. That can be a topic that comes up. Commitment, security, values can be something that comes up. Anything else? Mental health is part of this. I also am seeing too that it feels like there's going to be a little bit of a release from something. So you can feel like as you move through this process, when you come out to the point where the Sun is, you can feel like there's some type of deprogramming that's happening. Like you're shedding something that had been some type of, like unlearning something is what this is feeling like. So like taking a layer off rather than adding another one on. But having the Hierophant here can mean that the way that somebody was seeing things, and like the way that they normally like things to go, because a Hierophant can sometimes be a stubborn energy where it's like, I'm fixed in this way, and now something is coming up and it's challenging that, and that's creating difficulty for me psychologically. So I'm seeing something about that is shedding, so you can be like, something about like the norm or about a way of thinking or something that was very fixed before. Having the Hanged Man here is like the dissolution of that, but for the evolvement of things. So for like a higher spiritual understanding of this. So that's what I'm seeing this situation be about. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.